All right. We are back for, in essence, part two discussion about the academy and all the pertinent things around it. So I think you were all pretty well caught up on everything else, from the application all the way through um, to this. Uh, the oral interview and the starting of the academy. You saw kind of what it was like the first day. I mentioned a little bit about what that was. But yeah, there's a lot of stress inoculation, which that's all they're trying to do. Get you accustomed to dealing with stress, because when you're out there working, um, you will be put under stress, real stress, um, and have to know how to deal with it on a multiple levels. Whether it just be the stress of the job itself over time, whether it be truly stressful situations that occur, very rapidly. And it's not always about shootings. Granted, those can happen, but for the most, it may be other incidents that you're having to deal with multiple people. Dealing with a um, say domestic situation, dealing with uh, a vehicular crash where it's you have a lot of things that you're trying to accomplish that you have to do in a short period of time. Check on those who are involved, make sure your EMS is on the way, tow trucks. If you need to call fire for different reasons, those are all things you need to get taken care of. And if someone does need medical attention until the EMS, since until they arrive, you have to do your best uh, to use your training to provide that medical care. So there's all sorts of stresses that go on. Um, and the other thing they want to do is they don't want to take away your individuality, but they do want to kind of tear down all the things that are unnecessary, whether it be arrogance, whether it be laziness or whatever. And hopefully they've weeded some of that out before you get there, before they choose the recruits. But beyond that, they want to be able to make sure that you are trainable and that you will uh, do your job accordingly and be professional while doing it. So those are all things that, like I said, they try to build you back up in the proper way. But discipline, attention to detail, those are all very important things in law enforcement, and that's what academies do. In addition to teaching you some of the things that everybody thinks about, they do teach you the law. They do teach you things such as they go over emergency vehicle operations. Um, Handling firearms, defensive tactics, all that kind of stuff. And the physical fitness is part of it. You may do marching, you may do, I shouldn't say may, you do those things. And then you have, you may very well be uh, getting up at, 5 a.m., getting started on your, if you start off one day with PT in the morning, you'll have that, then you'll have your class time. And then you will, at the end of the day, if you had PT early in the day, in the evening you will have drill or something along those lines, which basically means marching and things like that, because it helps you learn to work as uh, a group, as well as it gives structure to what you're doing. So that those are all things you'll find at the academy. Everything will be, like I said, structured as far as when you go have your dinners in the dining hall or dining areas. All movements will be squared off. You'll be shown how to do that. Uh, about faces. You'll do left turns and right turns, squaring off instead of rounding turns. When you have to turn, walk down the hallway and turn right, you'll have to actually square it off properly. Those are all things that are a part of the discipline that it takes to actually make it through the academy. There is a purpose behind it. Uh, so what I kind of want to do is again show you a little bit more of those videos. And like I said, the first video, still having some issues with getting this to actually record the audio as loud as what I would like. So bear with me on that. But we will go ahead and go to this next video that I was, like I said, wanting you to um, be able to see. Let me get this volume adjusted as best I can. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't hear anything. So, all right, let me get this rolling for you.
Only 6 more months before this.
We got things to do!
Before the 74th recruit class is chosen
Take that bag off the deck!
and enters the Indiana State Police Academy. But first, these men and women have a lot of proving to do.
Woke up, had a math test this morning. I always wanted to become a cop. Since the day I watched Chips and was it like TNT?
So nerve-wracking.
I didn't know what to say.
This is part 2 of the trooper test.
You squeeze it up there, you not quick, right?
After passing the written exam, these men and women have been called back for the state police physical test.
Let's go!
Sit-ups, vertical jump, 300-meter sprint, 1.5 mile run, and push-ups. Sounds easy enough, right?
Yeah. Get up.
We've had some do 4 push-ups today. Some have done 16. Standard's 25. We want you to exceed.
Even I gave it a try, and well, I'm gonna need a lot of training on those push-ups, but my vertical jump wasn't bad, just a few inches shy of passing.
Body, tell your body to be quiet.
We lost a few candidates along the way, but for those who passed, the next test was even more challenging. This one doesn't test the body at all. The oral interview is all about the mind.
Stressful. Well, you walked into a big room with one chair and 4 people sitting in front of you.
Are you ready to begin?
Your heart's pounding, mouth gets dry.
You have butterflies in your stomach. I feel like I had 747 Boeing airplanes flying around in my gut.
Question number.
I know it just determines your whole career, but I mean, it's okay.
It is stressful. Yeah. It's been a long day.
What they tell the board here, though, isn't enough. To make sure these candidates are being truthful, they must also pass a polygraph test.
Are you now in Indiana? Have a seat.
I took a seat in the same chair as our candidates, as a proctor showed us how it works.
Left arm up, pull them out.
The polygraph measures your heartbeat, your breathing, and even your electrodermal activity to catch you in a lie. The proctor first establishes your baseline, your normal state, by asking you a series of questions.
Everyone coming in and taking a polygraph is nervous. And when we attach a polygraph, we see that's a normal state.
Then the proctor asks you those same questions again.
The thefts they committed, any arrest, any drug usage.
This time, the polygraph measures your reactions that jump off your baseline.
Their heart rate will increase, the blood pressure will increase compared to the other questions.
According to the ISP, the test is about 90% accurate. The candidates will still lie. We'll soon find out who told the truth and who made it one step closer to their dream.
74th process. This is my time. I am not going to be the one that doesn't make it to the academy.
That's your
All right, let's get the volume back to where it's not blowing you out too badly. At least when it comes back to me and I get to talk, big difference there. So I know that covered still a little bit of the whole process, and part of that is just simply because there is a lot to the hiring process. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the academy itself, and I already mentioned a little bit about it as far as waking up. Some people might not think it's early, and that's perfectly fine. But 5 or so in the morning is not anything uncommon. There will be some evenings they may want to keep you out late doing different testing, such as there are different parts of the academy where you have to learn. I talked about earlier the firearms or the driving, stuff like that. You will have to do some of that. Obviously, since we work 24 hours a day, you have to learn how to do those things in the dark or at night, things like that. So they'll keep you out later doing that, as well as occasionally they'll wake you up in the middle of the night to do different things such as, different demands, take you out and do, physical things in the middle of the night. Sometimes they will do, as far as physical things mean, like PT in the middle of the night. Sometimes they'll have you get up and have to do, different scenarios or whatever. The other thing that they will do, because they are very particular and it's paramilitary, they will do checks almost, at night or even every day. You are checked as far as your uniform. They'll do inspections. Inspections can be of your uniform, um, and also of the dorm. Or I know that Illinois is a little bit different than Indiana in the sense that dorms in Illinois are legit open, 30 bunk uh, dorm rooms, and they're up to actually have up to 5, but usually the state police will have occupy 3 of those, while other agencies that may be doing testing there in Springfield or academies, they're much shorter in length or whatever, they will be using the other dorms. But needless to say, they have dorms. In Indiana, it's more of like a suite mate type thing, almost like a dorm room you guys would have here on campus, that type of setup. But they will come in and inspect it. Sometimes it'll be daily. Sometimes they'll do random checks. So yeah, that's just all the stuff that goes on at the academy itself. The academy, some people say that later on they say, "Oh yeah, I loved it." Yeah, I'm not saying they can't like parts of it, but I'm saying that in general, it is not something that people like. Oh yeah, I really truly enjoyed the academy itself. Simply because it is 26 weeks. If you go for anything, for example, in Indiana, if you're a basic officer, I think it's limited to 15 weeks now. But if you go for a state or federal position in any type of law enforcement, you are looking at 26 weeks, or in essence, 6 months. And you go along. As you go along, um, for the most part, they still stay on you. But as you get a little bit closer to the end, the different counselors, the even the commander of the academy, they tend to loosen up a little bit, especially at the very end, like the last week or two. They understand that you're close to the end. You still got to do your things and still need to stay on task, but they do a better job of just, uh, in essence, easing up a little bit in terms of understanding that you've put in all that time and effort. So they respect you, and they're trying to build you back up so that you are confident when you come back, when you finish, and when you're going to go out to the onto the road or out into whatever agency you're going to go back to. They want to make sure that you are good to go. But typically, in regardless whether it's a basic or a state academy, something like that, you're usually given nighttime to kind of to yourself. So a lot of times classes, like I said, unless it's on a special occasion where they keep you late for that specific training at night, most of the time you'll be done around 6 or 7, and then you go and have your free time to either shine polish your boots for the next day, get everything ready for the next day, go make phone calls, sometimes go smoke cigarettes, whatever. You can do that. Some academies, such as Evansville's Academy, for their officers, as long as you live there in Evansville or in Vanderbilt County, basically that area, you get to go home every night and come back every day. But for your bigger things, or if you go to Plainfield, something like that, you will be staying on campus, per se, as we put it. So that's essentially all I need to tell you about the academy itself. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can ask me in class. But other than that, I'm going to try to finish things up here. So if you have any questions, like I said, get a hold of me. I will talk to you. Goal is, to go ahead and have class on Friday. If not, I'll let you know through email. All right. Have a great day.